everybody. Welcome to another episode of Broken Reel. This is episode 9, and it's game night, baby. We've got a full couch of individuals here today. We've got a Tyler Werner who's eating on some ramen. We've got some Graham Davis who's spending $5,000 on RAM. We got Slaughter. We got Lucas. We got Ethan.
What are
real
we
quick,
doing?
We're playing some games. We're playing some games, baby.
Well, those two are doing things. We're not doing things.
You're right. What are you guys doing? Slaughter is probably shoveling himself out of some kind of snowstorm right now. You probably have contracted some kind of new disease from like the nth cat that you've picked up off the streets. And Ethan's got one very important job.
Okay.
You've got to give us your review of Markiplier's Iron Lung that you so graciously avoided the last recording for to go watch.
Yeah, all right. I missed last episode because I had tickets to see Iron Lung. For those of you that don't know, it's a movie that was directed, acted, and written by Markiplier, who is that's the name of his YouTube channel. His actual name is Mark Fischbach, and the premise is based off of a video game by the name Iron Lung, where he is playing a convict that is put into basically like a submarine that is like just a steel tube with a computer and navigation and stuff. And it's a cool kind of like post-apocalyptic but space future world where there is like a before the movie starts, they were living on like some space station, and just like all of the other stars and planets around them just kind of disappear, and so there's nothing around except for this one planet that has an ocean of blood. And so, it's cool. Just Markiplier in this tube with a camera that is just like an X-ray hooked up to it. And so there's no like windows, you can't see out of it. And he's just like in this cool tube, like hitting a button, and a bunch of creepy stuff is showing up on the camera. And it is a very atmospheric. It's all in like one, it's basically just inside of the sub. Very claustrophobic. The set is practical. When they built it, it's like on a big hydraulic rig, and so it's actually like flipping around all over the place, which is really cool. It was pretty decent. I'm not gonna say it was amazing. There are some scenes where I was happily surprised at how he acted, where I was like, I believe that he is in character right now and it feels pretty good. And then there were some other times where I was like, oof, this feels like an amateur actor for sure.
Probably because he got an amateur director.
Yeah, I mean, he did a lot of it himself.
It's really the screenwriter that's the amateur, though.
Yeah.
True.
But it was cool. It had good practical effects. It has the world record for the most fake blood used in any movie.
Okay.
Cool.
Partly because, the premise is the planet is covered in an ocean of blood, and so they use a lot of it. And, if you're in a sub in an area like that, at some point there's going to get a crack, and so it fills, stuff like that.
Sure,
very cool.
Gotcha.
I'm sure Sam Raimi is punching the air.
Oh yeah. Well, I was gonna say, that the only reason that they had to use fake blood is because Kubrick probably still holds a record for real blood in The Shining. Because I wouldn't doubt that man probably went around and just like hijacked blood from people. Probably Shelley Duvall, if I'm being honest, when she was sleeping at night or something, just to make her fucking strung out. But okay, so middling review, pretty decent. How was your we don't have to like go at length on Iron Lung, but like, how was your theater experience? Because like this movie is like printing money right now, and as far as I'm concerned, it was like the budget was extremely low. Obviously, it's just like a very small kind of horror movie based off this video game. So, but it's kind of doing gangbusters, and I assume that's a lot of Markiplier fans and what have you going to see it. How did you have like a good theater experience? Was it packed? Was there a lot of gasping, laughing, anything fun in a horror movie experience?
Yeah, I would say there was a good sized crowd. Like, I think the theater was basically full. which is pretty rare for horror movies in general. Like, it's just a much more niche audience. But I think just him being who he is and having enough reach on social media, like, I never really watched any of his videos or his channel, but like, he's been doing it for 15 years or something, like long enough that even somebody like me who doesn't watch any of his stuff, I'm like, okay, like, I like horror, I'm gonna go check it out, it's indie horror. And so I think it brought out a lot more people than would normally go. And yeah, I think it had a budget of like $3 or $4 million, and it is doing, like, I think it's at above 40 at this point. So
hell yeah,
it's done really well. It's good. Like, I mean, I liked it. The only thing is, I think the last like 5 or 6 minutes, it's got early 2000s like super shaky cam. It's really dark, and it's hard to make out like the last few minutes of the movie, but great audio, because again, like, you can't see anything outside of the sub, and so having just like the creaking, all the sound effects of like stuff, things bumping into it, and so they had like really, really good sound design, I think, is something that they did really well.
Cool. Were there any horses in this movie?
There were no horses in this movie.
No horses?
I thought about it. But
oh my God. It's like we are the only people that care about the Chinese zodiac year of the horse.
Yep, that's true.
Fucking crazy.
But yeah, I would say it was definitely better than one of the other horror movies that I saw recently, which is Woman in the Yard. This was definitely better than that. But this is not, if you're thinking that it's going to be as good as like Sinners or Weapons, I think you're going to be disappointed. I think it is a good B-level horror movie that has some good like cosmic, people are kind of going crazy, and I really like the genre mashup of post-apocalyptic and space future. So I feel like post-apocalyptic, a lot of times you get something like Metro 2033, where like you're still on Earth and everyone's underground, or you get like the Book of Eli, where it is like wasteland wandering Fallout kind of post-apocalyptic, or you'll get like space future movies where it's like Elysium, and it's like very class-based, or like District 9,
Alien,
where this one is way more. Yeah, like it combining those two genres, I thought was really interesting. So that's something that is cool about the movie.
What about, if I may add, what about, like, this is an interesting film, particularly because there's a YouTuber. That's how he's described, you know, in this type of film. This is kind of a question to everyone here, but like, how do you see film changing with the, in light of the inspiration or involvement of social media folks, albeit YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, anything? Like, this is an era that we're seeing evolve over time in other areas, but film has not really been a thing. All of a sudden you're seeing, now you have an example, you've set the foundation for a social media person coming into film and having some level of success. It's inevitable that you're going to see others. So,
yeah, I mean,
how do you see that?
What was the other
out?
one that just came out this past year? Shelby Oaks or something? Was Chris Stuckman or whatever, and that didn't do well at all. Like, that was right.
But also it recently, and in horror, one that came out that was good was Bring Her Back. That was also by some YouTubers. So it seems like horror, probably because horror, I think, yeah. I think inherently horror is lower budget and is more reliant on storytelling in some regards. And so I think that it's probably the easiest genre to break into. So I'm not surprised that that's where we're seeing a few of the longer term, higher subscriber YouTubers being able to break into the genre.
Yeah, historically, that's always been the case with the horror genre, for sure. And the idea that a content creator online, be it YouTube or any other platform, can in some of these cases, and probably all these cases, I'm not sure, but like crowdsource or crowdfund a project via his community because they want to see what they can do with it. Like, I think that the fact that availability is now opening doors for a lot of younger creatives that might be online, everything is far and away a good thing. I mean, this is just the next iteration of being a filmmaker, moving to LA with an original screenplay and trying to get the movie funded from studios. Except now you're just pointing that dollar sign in a different direction. Do I think that content creators make good filmmakers? That is to be determined. I don't think a YouTuber makes a good storyteller, and I think that was evidenced by the fact that like Shelby Oaks is not very good. And yeah, I was gonna say on the flip side, then you have people like Zach Kreger, who is part of like sketch comedy where they were writing and doing live action things, and Weapons is obviously like a phenomenon of last year. So there's obviously some people are just going to be better at it than others.
So in your opinion, or anyone's opinion, do you think that this type of success, when you see a film like this that has a creator's name attached to it, isn't going to draw somebody like, I don't know, I'm just picking a name out of the air, but like the Jake Paul of boxing, you're going to get this just, egregious level of marketing and stuff that's going to be attached to films. It's going to be like Transformers 17 featuring Jake Paul. Do we think that no. type of era is on its way, where we're going to see like these,
Well, they just do that with every type of, like, I don't know if you guys remember when Vine was very big, there's like King Bach and like 5 or 6 other big Viners that they tried to throw into movies. And they did like, okay, they got some of their popularity through that made a lot of money back, but they were not good movies. So you need to have somebody who's going to be talented in both realms for it to become like an actual good thing.
Yeah, I think it might just be a new path for people to become filmmakers, potentially. But also it's like he is leveraging his audience, which is fine. But it's also like, again, he's been doing this for a long time, and this might be his first like feature length film. But I know that he has also done a lot of other like 30 or 40 minute, I don't know if sketches, short films are the right term, where it's like he's kind of been working up to this. So I think that it's less like there's going to be a huge wave of new people, but potentially this is just an on-ramp for, filmmakers to get their start, which I don't think is unreasonable, where it's like if you tell someone getting out of film school, like, hey, go make 10 years worth of 20 to 40 minute short films on YouTube, and then when you build an audience, you get to make your own film. Like, I don't even know if that's like an unreasonable path for someone to want to take.
Yeah, I think I appreciate what Mark has done, like in the approach that he took to it. I just think that there's, like anything where there's money to be had, and he showcased that money can be had, you're going to have these other people in social media and stuff who just think it's like a cash grab, and they're just going to latch on to it. And they're going to be bad films. I'm not going to say it's going to hold up to a certain quality standard, but you're going to see an influx of these films coming out on all kinds of different platforms that are just going to be these like cash grab action, garbage films that are, going to be out there, and they're just going to be marketed like crazy.
I agree with what you're saying. I think there's an extent to which your audience turns on you. I think Markiplier has a pretty well established like regular community and more, that will go see the Markiplier movie. And that is what happened, and that's what's happening. And he is going to have made money from this, and it's going to be lucrative for probably most people involved. I think the problem becomes when he iterates on it third, fourth, fifth time, and either they continue to be successful, in which case some people will probably just call them cash grabs, or the community falls off because the quality of films are obviously not there, because they're just obviously trying to leverage his community and going and trying to put butts in seats, But at the same time, it's like, I just think that I think making a feature film is going to be kind of like what separates the wheat from the chaff, because he might have thought that he wanted to make a feature length film and go through that process. And now he has, and it was successful, but maybe it was just a lot of work and he doesn't have anything else he wants to do with it. Maybe he wants to. He does. Okay.
Yeah,
so, but
he has talked about it, but
I guess what I'm saying is there are some people that might want to do it just because they have the creative freedom and desire to do it. And then once and the funds, obviously, the assets to do it, and then they do it and they're like, it's over. That I don't think could be seen as a cash grab. It was just like a passion project. But again, your Zach Kragers and the brothers that did Talk to Me and Bring Her Back and stuff, like I think they are a little bit different than when you say YouTuber. It's a really broad term, but like these people are people that were writers and actors for like their own sketch comedy thing. Markiplier is like the quintessential YouTuber. It's the webcam on the face. It's the overacting. It's the video game playing. It's like all that kind of stuff. At least that's what I associate him with. Like our other people, our Zach Kragers of the world, they are not those type of YouTubers. You know what I'm saying? So there's definitely some delineation there.
Yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah.
And Markiplier's made such a good success off of these horror games, like these indie horror games. So the fact that he's adapting this horror game into essentially an independent movie, I think is really cool. And if he continues to do that to give, these other creatives of like these games more awareness or like more creative liberties around their original story and bring them in to do, whatever comes next, the next indie horror game movie project that he's gonna spearhead, then fuck it, I mean, why not?
Give the keys to everybody in the kingdom. Let's see what happens, right? I think that's my thought process on it. It's just like more YouTubers want to get into the game. Great. There's gonna be bad ones. Could be good ones. We won't know until we try.
Yeah, and his reputation could potentially be on the line for some people. When they go see Iron Lung, and let's just say it was one of the worst movies of all time, people might be like, maybe Markiplier is not as much of a guy as I thought he was, or maybe he should just stick to YouTube videos. I'm sure people have had that idea coming out of Iron Lung. I'm sure people have come out of it and thought it was amazing, and I'm sure people like Ethan have come out and just said, felt like a first-time feature debut from a director and actor, so it is what it is. I don't think it's a bad thing.
Right. I think just the more new perspectives on movies in general, I think is a good thing.
Definitely, for sure.